To be a pet detective, one must comprehend both criminals and animals. Ace Ventura goes even beyond. He acts like a criminal animal. When a football team's mascot, a dolphin, is stolen soon before the Super Bowl, Ace Ventura is assigned the case. So, who would want to take a dolphin and why? And that's what we will discuss in this movie recap of Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Welcome to Movie Spotlight. Ace Ventura is a pet detective who despises animal abusers. He has to look for animal abusers and rescue the animals from them. A group of people enter Miami Stadium late at night and take the Miami Dolphins mascot, a trained dolphin named Snowflake. The following morning, the Dolphins' head of operations, Roger Podacter, and his chief publicist, Melissa Robinson, are asked to locate the missing Snowflake before the approaching snowball, for fear that the theft may damage the superstitious football players. Because a member of their staff was previously a client of Ace Ventura, they decided to hire this pet detective to conduct an investigation. Ace travels to the stadium and looks inside Snowflake's tank when Melissa requests that he investigate, discovering a little red stone in the filtration system. Later that day, Ace Ventura visits the local police headquarters. He was following a confrontation with Sergeant Aguado. Ace consults his friend Detective Emilio to see what leads the police may have. Emilio concedes that a missing animal investigation isn't a top priority for the police. Still, they assume one of the local animal rights group who have regularly protested the Miami Dolphins' ownership of Snowflake may be involved. Emilio's superior, attractive female, Lieutenant Lois Einhorn, arrives and kicks Ace out at this juncture. With help from his friend, Ace decides to examine Ron Camp, who recently purchased a lot of dolphin equipment and gave Miami property for the new stadium. Moran attends a party hosted by Camp that evening with Melissa. As Camp attempts to seduce Melissa, Ventura explores Camp's residence and discovers a big aquarium tank, which he believes containing the missing snowflake. However, the tank includes a big shark and Ace narrowly escapes with his life. As Melissa and Ace depart the party, the detective observes a ring on Camp's hand. Ace informs Melissa about the stone he discovered in Snowflake's tank, and Camp's ring included the same type of stone. Although since no stone was removed, Camp was not responsible for Snowflake's kidnapping. The ring belongs to the Miami Dolphins, who won the AFC Championship in 1984. Ace resolves to personally investigate all of the ring owners, hoping to find one with the missing stone. He insanely follows them and checks each one's ring, but his photographic list of possibilities quickly runs out, yielding no results. Roger, meantime, has died. The police believe Roger committed suicide by jumping 20 floors from his flat. But Ace proves them wrong, since one of the neighbors heard a scream of Roger when he fell and another neighbor had to open the balcony door when he came in. Ace proves that the balcony door is double-panned, has soundproof glass, and there is no way the first neighbor could have heard Roger scream on the way down. So, the screaming she heard came from inside this apartment before he threw off the balcony. And then the murderer closed the door before he left. So, Ace reveals that Roger was thrown from the apartment, making it murder rather than suicide. Ace discovers that in 1984, a player named Ray Finkle was a mid-season replacement kicker. That's why he was missing in the season's first photo taken. Finkle is the player who lost the 1984 Super Bowl by missing the last field goal in what became known as the kick heard around the world. The Dolphins lost 1 point. As a result, Finkle's contract with the Dolphins was not renewed and he did not play the football again. Ace visits Finkle's house and discovers that he is mentally ill but has escaped. A visit to Finkle's room reveals his hate for Dan Marino, the player who held the ball for Finkle's kick and whom Finkle blames for the entire incident. After finding Finkle had so much hatred over Marino, Ace calls Melissa because he believes Marino is in danger. Marino is filming a commercial for isotonal gloves when he is tackled by two men dressed in Miami Dolphins uniform, which appears to be a part of commercial. But everyone realizes what happened as the Dolphins continue to carry Dan after the director yells cut. Ace tries to stop the kidnappers, but they elude capture. Einhorn is furious when she finds Ace in her office after a press interview until Ace reveals Ray Finkle's name. Ace shares his theory with the lieutenant. Finkel has returned to exact his revenge immediately before the Super Bowl when it will most damage the Dolphin. Snowflake was the first target of vengeance because the Dolphin had been given Finkel's former number and trained to kick a field goal during the halftime show. Ace also believes Roger was slain because he recognized Finkel from his earlier time with the Dolphin. Lieutenant Einhorn comments on Ace's efforts, making physical advances towards the pet investigator, which Ace rejects and declines to hand over the case to her. The next day, Ace disguises himself as a mentally ill person and goes to Shady Acres mental house along with Melissa. Sneaking Ace then comes across an interesting news piece on the failure of search parties to find a missing hiker named Lois Einhorn. Ace asks his friend Detective Emilio to check Einhorn's desk, where he finds a card from Roger to Einhorn about their meeting on Friday. Ace gets perplexed, thinking, what does Lois Einhorn have to do with Ray Finkle? That's when Ace knows Lois Einhorn is Ray Finkle dressed as a woman. On the morning of Super Bowl, Ace follows Einhorn to a lonely boathouse where Dan Marino and Snowflake are imprisoned. Ace defeats Einhorn's two henchmen but is apprehended by Einhorn. Claiming Ace is the one behind the kidnappings, Einhorn calls the police to request help. As the police arrive, Einhorn instructs them to shoot Ace until Melissa appears holding Emilio at gunpoint, distracting the other policemen long enough for Ace to conclude the case. Ace outlines Finkel's new employment and strategy in detail, including pulling off Lieutenant Einhorn's clothes to demonstrate his point. However, Ace's efforts appear to reveal the Einhorn is a true female. However, Dan Marino discovers the truth. Einhorn has male genitalia nestled between her legs. Ace realizes this is why Roger was murdered. He discovered Einhorn's actual gender. The action peaks during the Super Bowl halftime show when Ventura is praised as hero on the Jumbotron and Marino and Snowflake are feted. The highlight of the show comes when Ventura fights with Swoop, the mascot of the Philadelphia Eagles, over a rare pigeon, winning him a standing ovation.